Welcome back, guys. So, guys, some of the big heads are waking up and smelling the coffee. That this Caribbean region of ours, that once was a place of peace and tranquility, is heading into a war, is being dragged into chaos and destruction. I have for you today Gary Griffith of Trinidad and Tobago. He is warning the people of Trinidad and Tobago, stop the politics, put aside the division, who you like and who you don't like, because the reality of it is things are about to take a turn for the worst. Take a listen.
To all the level-headed citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, lately I've been watching the national conversation about the standoff between the United States and Venezuela. And I have to say, what was once a healthy debate has now become pure political bacchanal. Everything anyone has is instantly twisted. If, for example, you support the action of the state, then you're called a government mouthpiece. If you question or challenge any decision made by the government in this issue, then you're branded a terrorist sympathizer. That is madness. We have to get serious. Now, I have spent 17 years in the military. I've served as National Security Advisor, Minister of National Security, Commissioner of Police. I have represented my country and participated in the CARICOM meetings involving regional security, trained and been involved in operations with regional forces, and commanded troops in Haiti under the United Nations. So to the haters who would be upset by my comments, please understand that I've earned the right to speak based on facts and not on political bias. We are facing a serious geopolitical situation now. And instead of pulling each other down, this country needs to unite. Now is not the time for pettiness or propaganda. We have one government, one prime minister, and one Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. And if this situation between the United States and Venezuela escalates and goes south, literally, we'll all be affected. So it's time to stop dividing the country and to start preparing. So to both the government and the citizens of this country, I would just like to give a few quick points for us to consider that may prepare us. Firstly, the Ministry of Defense. It has to step up. I drafted the framework for that ministry back in 2010, exactly for the scenarios like this, in anticipation. The Ministry of CARICOM and Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Homeland Security should not be on the front line of a potential armed conflict. That is the role of the Ministry of Defense. This is in no way to target the minister in that ministry, as he does not have to be a military or security expert. But it is obvious that this ministry lacks qualified military personnel to advise and guide that ministry in these trying times. If there's a lack of experience or guidance within that ministry, then I wish to advise that an advisory committee be formed. Call it a think tank, as we have some of the most qualified retired senior military officers who understand what needs to be done to prepare us and even possibly prevent us from experiencing our darkest hour. We have so many qualified former chiefs of defense staff and senior military officers retired. People like retired General John Sandy, Carl Alfonso, Ansel Antoine, Eddie Dillon, all of these, by the way, being previous government ministers. So they understand the line between military and politics. And we have the naval equivalents of Admiral Kelshaw, previous CDS Pritchard, Franklin, Daniel, and others who can be of immense value to act as an advisory capacity in the Coast Guard. We have retired Brigadiers Philip Spencer, Ken Maraja, Peter Joseph, Rodney Smart, Colonel Clark, Roger Carter, who led the Defense Force in another country recently, Major Lynch, Major Jack, who actually trained me, and so many others that can be of value. The state has paid tens of millions to have these individuals trained, and this is the time we can maximize that benefit. We also have a newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff who has all of the traits required to lead our troops in the proper manner. And I'm sure he will even welcome this advisory think tank at this time. Secondly, we need immediate recruitment drives for the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, especially the Coast Guard. It is amazing to see the fire services on a recruiting drive in a time like this. But for the last year or so, we have heard nothing about the recruitment of the Defense Force to ensure that they can have maximum personnel to equate with their establishment. Third, there must also be proper mental preparation for these troops, as not everyone joined the military being prepared for armed conflict, and hopefully not the ultimate sacrifice. There must also be a powerful and immediate training exercise from external agencies to mentally prepare each and every soldier, sailor, air guard person for any eventuality. A fourth point to note is maintenance and readiness. That must be top priority, especially for our military assets. Too many of our Coast Guard vessels and Army equipment are sitting idle and not combat ready. This includes proper utilization of the National Operations Center. Again, I stress, this is not a police system. Otherwise, it would have been referred to as the Police Operations Center. This NOC has the capacity for real-time information and collaboration between different arms of the protective services and to provide timely information to the public to avoid and eliminate fake news. Finally, if the situation flares up, we could easily see a mass exodus, hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans heading to our shores seeking refuge. That's not speculation. I saw it firsthand in Haiti. Such an influx would overwhelm our schools, hospitals, job market, and could even fuel crime. We are not prepared. So we need to ensure that the Coast Guard is fully prepared to assist to prevent this mass exodus if it does take place, as well as ensuring a massive border protection plan on our shores in that southwestern area. This should be our focus rather than the old talk about which side we should pick to support. So yes, we must hope for peace, but prepare for the worst. And to those who seem more loyal to other countries than to Port of Spain, let's get real. Venezuela fired the first shot by accusing Trinidad and Tobago of harboring terrorists. That was a direct threat to our sovereignty. And it goes further when as much as people are stating that the US is framing a trajectory for invasion of Venezuela, it appears Venezuela is doing the same with Trinidad and Tobago, with their recent Minister of Defense statement alluding that Trinidad and Tobago, we are now testing Venezuela and scolding us for allowing an international ally to have a vessel enter our waters as if we need their permission to do so. Any responsible government has the duty to defend the people and its borders. So before this gets out of hand, let's pause and understand that this is not a time for division. This is a time for unity, for preparation, and for good leadership. We must need to ensure that we need clear eyes, steady hands, and real expertise. Because when the storm comes, Trinidad and Tobago must stand ready together. Thank you.
And that's why many of you may not like this channel, because I am one of the realists out here. I am second in line when it comes to Ernest Obi Cook. Yes, my good friend out there who's doing a wonderful job as well. Now, I take what Gary Griffith says with a grain of salt, but one thing he's correct on is that a storm is coming. The region is heading into an armed conflict, and we might just see that happening between Venezuela and Trinidad, because the Americans, their plan is to use Trinidad as a pawn against Venezuela, and they are being successful in doing just that. Well, guys, let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below. God bless you. Take care until next time.